4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
It's already.
Oh. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Dandava Pranam. Welcome to Sri Sri Radha Vino Bihari Mandir, Sri Gopinath Bhavan, Sri Vrindavan Dham.
Jai.
Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Panu Gauriya Guruvarga ki Jai. Pratik Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki Jai. Radha Ramana Ju ki Jai. Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtana ki Jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Sri Gauriya Iti Guccha. Vandeham Sri Guru, Bande. Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Shri Krishna Leela Kathane Sudaksham Avdaya Shri Varshabharani Devi कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दैवे प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये विनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धापो सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् नैराम्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भार सम्बोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते। गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्तं राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जयतां सुरतो पंगो मम मन्दं मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदं भोजो राधावदनमोहन दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमद श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्री श्री राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेव प्रेष्ठाभिः संयमानुस्मरामि। श्रीमन्त्रसरसारम्भी वंशिवत् ततस्थितः कर्षन्वेणुस्वरे गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुनः। वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम्। हरे राम हरेर्नामेव केवलं फलो नास्त्येव नास्त्येव गतिरन्यथा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
It is on page 359. And it starts with Guru Charana, Carana, I've made the choice. No, I'm not singing it. small book. It starts Kabe M-U-I Vaisnava C-I-N-I-B-O.
What page?
42. Good luck. Do you need Sudevi to lead?
Yes. Today, Sudevi will lead.
No, she
Kavi
won't.
Moi Vaishnava Chinibo Hari Hari.
We never sang it.
Because it's difficult. The first line really throws me off. The rest are easy. Okay.
So why don't you just do the first line like on your own and then we'll join. Okay?
That's a smart idea.
Areva.
But because we never sing it, I'm going to read the translation first.
Yay!
Kavi Moi Vaishnava Chinibo by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Oh Hari, when will I recognize who is a Vaishnava? The lotus feet of the Vaishnava are a mine of all auspiciousness. I will become maddened by holding them within my heart. The worshipful Vaishnava is always transcendental, without faults, and full of bliss. He has deep affection for Krishna's name. He is indifferent to mundane affairs, and he melts with compassion for the living beings. The Vaishnava is free from false ego, expert in bhajan, and detached from sense objects. He is free from duplicity, internally and externally, and he is filled with loving attachment to the Lord's eternal pastimes. There are three types of Vaishnavas, Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam, and they are distinguished by their characteristics. I have heard from authorities that one should give affection to the Kanishta Vaishnava, offer respectful obeisance to the Madhyam Vaishnava, and fully serve the Uttam Vaishnava. When I recognize Vaishnavas according to their qualifications, and thus duly honor them, I shall certainly receive their mercy, which is the source of all success. Bhaktivedanta never speaks to those who, out of envy, criticize the ever-pure character of Vaishnavas. Instead, he always remains silent. What a powerful prayer. Regarding this point about offering respect according to the different levels of Vaishnavas, Srila Gurudev would often speak on this point. That is Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswamipada, that we should not give the same or equal respect to all Vaishnavas, but we should respect them according to their level of bhakti. And then Gurudev would say, he would quote the verse from Upadeshamrita, which is the 5th verse, Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta tikshashtiche pranatibhishta bhajantamisham shrushrushaya bhajana vidyamananyamanya nindadi shunyam hritamipsita sangalabhya. Okay, I have a quick story to tell you. In 1996, when we first came to Vrindavan, at that time, Kartik was beginning from Mathura Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math. And Gurudev had traveled around the world for the first time and invited everyone, you are welcome, come to Vrindavan, we will do parikrama. So at that time, devotees started trickling in from the west. Very few. I think there was a total of 1 bus that year, about 50 devotees from overseas, and then 1 or 2 from Bengal and other places. So, as we were trickling in, there was only maybe 20 of us at that time sitting around Gurudev, and he was taking the role of a classroom teacher. You know, like, that would have a blackboard with a stick and a piece of chalk kind of teacher. So he had us sitting around him, and he was like, do you know this verse? Krishneti yasya giritam. And we were all like, completely, like, what are they called? Deer in headlights? We had no idea. We were just brand new to all of these things. We knew of a book called Nectar of Instruction, but we didn't know the verses. And Gurudev, he was asking, do you know this verse? Do you know this verse? And then he began speaking about it. And he said, learn the verse. Tomorrow I will test you. And it's a big verse. The first first line is Krishneti Yasritam Nasadriyet. That's one line, and there's 4 of them. And for people who have a difficult time learning shlokas, like Sudevi, it was quite
fearsome.
Yeah, all night we stayed up cramming and trying to learn this verse because Gurudev was going to test us tomorrow, and she was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go.
And he never tested us.
Yeah, he didn't even test us. He just knew we would learn it. So,
and we never forgot it.
But that verse is describing the characteristics of Vaishnavas and what kind of respect one should offer to those Vaishnavas according to their level. So Srila Gurudev would often give classes and tell us how we should offer respect to Vaishnavas according to their level and not give the same respect to all Vaishnavas equally. Krishneti yasya gritam manasadriyeta. Even if one has chanted the name of Krishna once, then within one's mind they should offer pranam or give respect. Dikshashtijet pranantibhishcha bhajantamisham. If they have received diksha and they are going through the process of bhajan, actually the practices of bhakti under the guidance of Sri Guru, then you should offer your dandava pranam to them. Shushrushaya bhajana vidyam ananyamanya nindadi shunyam. And those who are without the tendency to criticize others, without the tendency to find fault, and who are completely 100%, 24 hours a day, absorbed in Krishna without even one moment of anything else. Shushrushaya bhajana vidyam ananyamanya. Ananya means without cessation, and one point exclusive, and without any other. Then Shushrushaya, one should offer their very self. And then Gurudev said, it is also an offense to give the same respect to a third-class bogus person that you would to a pure Vaishnava, to an Uttam Mahabhagavat Vaishnava. If you give the same respect to them both, then you will also be making aparad. It would be like putting me on the Vyasa-san next to Gurudev and giving us the same respect. That just, I wouldn't like it, and it would be offensive to him. I would think this is such an offense. So, it is not the same thing. So we should respect Vaishnavas according to their levels properly.
Okay, so perhaps you'll do the first part, and then you'll let us know when to join, okay? Thank you.
Vaisnava Pavitra Sarvada Pavitra Jayunde Sadhu
requested that Anupama Madhuri Jodi, which is so joyful and blissful and lovely, would be sung tonight. And
okay.
I said already we should do it.
Alright, we'll do that later. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone also, I don't know who, but they asked for Dekite Dekite. Wow, that was a look for whoever that was.
I'm uncertain.
I'll sing it.
Not right now.
No. Stupid.
Where is it? Is today the 6th of June?
Yes.
Okay.
It was Sudevi's request.
What?
Thank you. No, I totally can't sing it.
Dhanamor Nityananda Patimor Gaurachandra.
Page number?
Page number 91, starting with Dhana, D-H-A-N-A, Dhanamor Nityananda. Patipavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai.
Can you just give them a minute to find it? Just where to stop.
Kripa karo.
Beta.
Radhe Radhe.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I have to just change the tempo setting here. 2, 8. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Manare Kahana Gaura Katha.
Sudevi, page number? Manare Kahana Gaura Katha is page 72. And it starts with
Manare.
M-A-N-A-R-E. Manare Kahana.
Are they posting it?
Yes.
Okay, good. If you don't have a songbook, Jiva Pavana Prabhu? Is Jiva Pavana Prabhu posting?
Many, well, yes.
So if you scroll down to the last comment, there you will see the bhajan posted that we're going to sing. So this bhajan, Manare Kahana Gaura Katha, is by Sri Narahari Sarkar, an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it's a beautiful, beautiful mood of calling out to for the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is it there? Dandavat Pranam, Rameshwar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, it's posted.
अनुपमा माधुरी जोड़ी हमारे श्याम श्यामा की as requested.
It's page 364.
364. I was just practicing the two.
Starting with Anupama Madhuri Jodi. So Anupama Madhuri.
Shri Radha Vino Bihari Ji
Well, if there are questions,
right. Okay.
perhaps Sudevi, I can't do it. I'm gonna.
Thank you. Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaye Tadbhaktaye Namo Namah Ajnanatmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayati Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Swasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukha karoti vācāṁ, pangum langayate girim, chakrapatamaham vande Shri Gunditārinam. First of all, we offer Dandava Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Visnupada, astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswamipada. In the same thousands of Dandava Pranam unto the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Visnupada, astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to all of our Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present and future, and those who are present with us today, my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Dandavat Pranam.
Excuse me. So before entering into going beyond Vaikuntha, today, here in Vrindavan, happens to be the anniversary of the disappearance of Sri Shyamananda Prabhupada. Shyamananda Prabhupada. It's a very important history for us in our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. And it relates very strongly, very heavily, to the subject of this book, Going Beyond Vaikuntha. Shyamananda Prabhu was born from a family who had already lost many children before him. And because of this, they named him a sad name, so that no negative influence, no black magic, no tantra or no ghosts or witches would kill him. Because especially in Bengal, at that time, so many people practiced the dark arts. But all over. Still now. Even as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was born under a neem tree and he was named Nimai. Neem is bitter. They didn't name him Mango, they named him Nimai. This keeps away any negative influence. And anyone with Vatsalya Prem would understand. Even Mother Yashoda, she's full of so much Vatsalya Prem for Krishna, parental Prem, love and affection for him. Nanda and Yashoda worshipped Shalagram Shila. What kind of Shalagram? Narasingha Shalagram. Why? To protect their son, Krishna. They're always worshipping Narasingha Shalagram for that purpose. She's always putting black kajal on his eyes, and black mark on his face, and black string around his waist, and kavacha on his arm, to protect him from any evil or negative influence. Because so many demons are coming. In the same way, the parents of Shyamananda Prabhu named him Dukhi. Dukhi means sad. Sukha means happiness, Dukha means misery or suffering. So they actually named him sad, Dukhi, to protect him from any negative influence. So as this Shyamananda began growing up, he was very astute, very intelligent. He was learning very easily, and he had so much natural attraction to Krishna. Gradually he came to his Gurudev. What was the name of his Gurudev? Hridaya Chaitanya. Hridaya Chaitanya is an eternal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sakya Bhav. Means in his eternal relationship with Krishna, he is as a cowherd boy. Hridaya Chaitanya. So this Dukhi came under the shelter of Hridaya Chaitanya, and he was initiated as Krishna Das. Somehow they maintained his name as Dukhi Krishna Das. Sad Krishna Das. And his guru was nurturing him and giving him so much help for so long on the path of progression, on the path of bhakti. But after some time, his Gurudev could only help him up to his level. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita explains very, very succinctly, very clearly, that as one is progressing through the different stages, they will come through Shanta Ras, means neutral Ras, to Dasya Ras, mood of servitude. Come through that to Sakya Ras, friendship mood. Through that to Vatsalya Ras, a parental kind of mood. Through that to Madhurya Ras. That it is all contained. Madhurya Ras contains the maximum extent of development of all rasas. Vatsalya Ras, parental Ras, contains the maximum extent of all rasas beneath it, meaning Sakya, Dasya, Shanta, everything, but not Madhurya. Sakya Ras contains the maximum extent of Sakya, Dasya and Shanta. So it's contained within it. Therefore, the Guru of Madhurya Ras can nourish all others, because they have within them, the Guru who is situated eternally within Madhurya Ras can nourish all others. This is why our Srila Gurudev was so adamant that our Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is in Madhurya Ras. Not only because his own Guru, his own Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, gave the sannyas mantra, Gopi Bhav mantra, to our Srila Prabhupada. But also because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami states emphatically that only a gopi, not even a Priya Narma Sakha, no other cowherd boy or anyone, only a gopi can spread the glories of the gopis all over the world. And what did our Srila Prabhupada do? He spread the glories of the gopis all over the world. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Baradhari, Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Even the Rath Yatra festival is the glory of the gopis, as I said yesterday. Pulling Krishna back to Vrindavan on the chariot of their hearts, on the chariot of their minds. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, what is that? Our Gurudev has been speaking about that. It's the prayer, O Radha, O Krishna, please engage me in your service. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Radha Raman. Please engage me in your service. So our Gurudev was very adamant that he was capable of giving everything. Because those who are only up to Sakya Bhav cannot properly nourish those who are in Madhurya Ras. Then they would have to send them forward to any Shiksha Guru who can give everything. But our Gurudev again and again and again established that our Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is just like his Gurudev in his eternal serving form in relationship with Radha and Krishna. And just like his Gurudev, and just like their Gurudev, and just like Rupa Goswami, just like that. No different. And he's serving in their internally conceived spiritual forms. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Se Mor Sampada Se Mor Bhajana Pujan Se Mor Pranadana Se Mor Abharana Se Mor Jivaner Jivan. The goal of our everything is to take shelter of the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Manjari. So our Gurudev was very adamant about this point. That yes, anyone who is in that highest rasa can also experience the bhavs of any other rasa. But that would be considered a sthayi bhav, a sanchari bhav, means a mood which is playing upon their foundational mood of their fixed relationship with Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So, this Hridaya Chaitanya is in the mood internally of a cowherd boyfriend of Krishna. And his disciple, Dukhi Krishnadas, is internally in the mood of a gopi, maidservant of Srimati Radhika. So Hridaya Chaitanya could only nourish him up to his level. And our Gurudev explained very, very clearly and very emphatically that in those days, now these days people, they have disciples and they become very possessive. No, they're mine. And they don't really want them to progress in bhakti, but they need to keep disciples around them so that they can make money and have a comfortable life at the end of their life. But in those days, he said, it wasn't about my disciple, your disciple. It was about who can help nourish this jiva to perfection? So Hridaya Chaitanya sent Dukhi Krishna Das onward. To who? Srila Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami at that time was in Vrindavan. He was known as the leader, like the emperor of the Vishva Vaisnava Raja Sabha. Vishva Vaisnava Raja Sabha. Universal Association of Vaishnavas. Raja Sabha means the kingly association. So Jiva Goswami was considered the emperor of all three main dhams that are prominent to Gaudiya Vaishnavas. That is Vrindavan Dham, Navadvip Dham, and Jagannath Puri Dham. He was the most respected, and if anyone wanted any credentials, they would have to get it signed off by him. The stamp of approval needed to come from Srila Jiva Goswami, highest, most respected Vaishnava, and the best follower of Srila Rupa Goswami. So he was sent onward to Srila Jiva Goswami. Why? Because Jiva Goswami could nourish his mood, that nature of his Atma, the eternal nature of his Atma to perfection, beyond that of a coward boy to perfection, that in relationship, in Madhurya Ras in Vrindavan. So Srila Jiva Goswami accepted him and was giving him shiksha, but placed him into the shelter of... Who was Shyamananda placed into the shelter of?
Jiva Goswami.
No, but Jiva Goswami. Was it Lokanath Goswami?
No, that's
I'm trying to remember.
Gopal Bhatta Goswami?
No, that was... I can't remember at the moment. Please forgive me, maybe you can look it up. So Jiva Goswami was nourishing this Dukhi Krishna Das. And Dukhi Krishna Das's service was to sweep the kunjas in Vrindavan. There's a kunja just down the road. It is known as Jharu Mandala. It's not very far from here. I think it takes about 2 minutes to walk there. It's just on the other side of Shringarvat, on the way to the Vrindavan's Chirghat. It's there, it says Jharu Mandala. And it is actually originally part of Nidhuvan. So there, this Dukhi Krishna Das, under the guidance of Srila Jiva Goswami, his service was to sweep the kunjas and make them all nice and clean. So that in the night time, Radha and Krishna and the gopis could engage in their pastimes there without any annoyance. So this Dukhi Krishna Das was always sweeping there. One day when he was sweeping, he found something, one ankle bell. He thought, wow, what is this? So he brought it to his Gurudev, Jiva Goswami, Shiksha Guru, and showed him. And Jiva Goswami instructed him, do not give it to anyone else, only give it to the owner. He said, okay. So he kept that bell with him and he was sweeping the kunja. The next day, some young girls came by. Hey Baba, did you find anything? Yes, I found something. Well, you should give it to us, it belongs to our Sakhi. I will only give it to the person who owns it. Are, why do you want to see a girl? What kind of Baba are you? So they started to abuse him. He said, I will only give it to the owner. I will not give it to anyone else. So he was following very strongly the instruction of his Shiksha Guru. So what could they do? So gradually they brought him to their friend, their Sakhi. But no other male form can go in front of Srimati Radhika. It is not possible. Not like that. Not of this sadhak deha. So without even understanding or realizing, already he was in his transcendental form and came before Rishabhananandini Srimati Radharani. And he was able to, in that form, place this ankle bell back onto Srimati Radhika's anklet. And she was so pleased, she impressed that ankle bell in his forehead. And that's why we have this Shyamananda Tilak. It has a very special shape. And she gave him, from her own hand, she gave him a murti of Krishna. Shyam Sundar, very beautiful. When she gave him this, he attained the name Shyam Ananda, or he who gives pleasure and happiness to Shyam Sundar, Krishna. Srimati Radhika directly gave this mercy to him. So this is the glory of Sri Shyamananda Prabhu. He's following the order of his Gurudev so carefully. In following that order, he received the highest treasure, the treasure of the direct mercy of Srimati Radhika, who engaged him in the service of Krishna. So on this day, we can pray to Sri Shyamananda Prabhu. May he manifest his mercy in our hearts, that we also may be able to receive the opportunity to serve the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna.
So before you begin your class, Hari Krishna Das has a question. And he says, Dandavat, how can I overcome my resistance to practical service? My mind complains that it takes away time for chanting and whatever other private attempts at bhajan I try to engage in. When it comes to something like adiyo seva, I freeze, and I feel that the rest of my sadhana suffers because of it. Thank you very much. I think you should talk about how important adiyo seva is. Thank you for the question. Keep this just now. Okay, yeah.
In the path of bhakti, everything is dependent upon one's mood and intention. The same with approaching Harinam Prabhu, the same with approaching Mahaprasad, the same with approaching Thakurji Seva, the same with approaching cooking, the same with approaching Arti and Kirtan, and even book distribution. If we're doing anything in the path of bhakti, the intention of that should be for the service, for the pleasure of Guru Gauranga Radha Krishna. If it is not for that purpose, then we might attain some material result, lots of material result, and maybe a very slow spiritual result. If the purpose of my distributing books is to increase my pride and ego, I did more than you. So many people will benefit from it, but what about me? What is the result of my seva? Pratishta will come. If the result of my doing kirtan, I once heard someone say, I will sing so beautifully that all of the girls will fall in love with me. If that is the result of my doing kirtan, then was I doing kirtan? Then this is kamini, material sense gratification and lust, will be the result of my kirtan. So what is my intention in doing what I am doing? How can I approach Harinam Prabhu? How can I approach my adiyo seva? Why am I doing adiyo seva? Why? It's so essential, actually, to present to the world the pure and transcendental words of the pure devotee. It is essential. Because in this world there is so much confusion, so much misunderstanding, due to the words of non-devotees and weak devotees. So when the pure devotee is speaking, because there is no defect, Brahm, Pramada, Karana, Patava, and Vipralipsa, the tendency to come under illusion, imperfect senses, tendency to make mistakes, and tendency to cheat others does not occur within the words and the sayings of the all-knowing, all-seeing, all-perfect, divine transcendental personalities, or Sri Guru. So many gurus may be in this world, but Sri Guru is different. Sri Guru, Srila Govinda Maharaja explains, is one who is endowed with Sri. Means Srimati Radhika. It means they have realized their relationship in loving service to Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. They are directly connected and communicating with and serving Nikunjayunorati Keli Siddhyaya Yalibhir Yuktirapekshaniya Tatrati Dakshad Atiballabhasya Bande Guru Sri Charanaravinda. serving in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan under the guidance of the gopis. Srila Prabhupada explained, Tattvadarshi means one who has practically realized their relationship. Practically. It's not just a theory anymore. It is a practical, realized, it is real, relationship with Krishna. It's a very deep concept. Because one can know about Krishna, one can know about the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna, and lecture and talk about, but to actually know Krishna, that's a different thing. So real Sri Guru is someone who knows Krishna, who has been sent by Krishna for our benefit, to help us. So those words of the pure devotee, which are without any mal, any impurity, they can actually help us, they can bless us, and they can move us forward on the path of bhakti. That's why Srila Prabhupada used the term as it is. As it is doesn't mean that he's the only person qualified to give as it is. His Gurudev also gave as it is. And his Gurudev gave as it is. And Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu gave as it is. And Rupa Goswami. All pure devotees who are connected to the truth. Shabda Brahma. Transcendental sound vibration. Krishna himself is manifesting through their mouth. Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. By that, our consciousness is purified. Because it is transcendental. It is as it is. So there's no impurity in it. And therefore, when we hear that, when we read that, it will help us and benefit us. One time, many, many years before, as we were traveling around the world, certain persons were selling their lectures. Certain preachers were selling copies of their lectures and funding their travels. And we were also one of those groups, selling copies of the lectures of the person we were traveling with. And we received a message from our Gurudev servant, from our Gurudev. In the time of our Guru Maharaj, we have never seen anything like this, that any disciple would be promoting themselves and their own lectures like this, selling their own. We have never seen anything like this. And then he said, it may be that because we are still in the conditioned state, that we might say something which is slightly off. We might make a mistake. And if someone hears that mistake repeated again and again and again and again and again, then it forms an impression inside. And that impression may be very difficult to remove. So that is why our Guru Varga have explained that we should only hear and receive information from the transcendental source, especially that which we are going to listen to repeatedly. It's not that persons like me should not share and preach this mission. I was ordered by Gurudev to do so. He said, even after I am no longer on this sphere, I want that you continue traveling and preaching my mission everywhere. He ordered it. And I asked him, what benefit will others get by hearing my glorification of Krishna and my chanting of the holy names of Krishna? My heart still has so many anarthas inside. He said, oh, some Shakti will be there because you are under guidance. Meaning he can work through. We've seen how Srila Prabhupada worked through his disciples. Who was qualified as a 17-year-old to go out and 18-year-old and literally spread Krishna consciousness all over the world and make temples, and he was empowering them. And it was clearly evident. In such a short time, he made Hare Krishna a household word in every town and village of the world. It was quite obvious. He empowered everyone. So, Sri Guru can empower. This is possible. And the moment the disciple goes against Gurudev, he can also retract everything. Punar musika bhava, again become a mouse. It can happen also. And we've seen that many, many times. We've even heard Gurudev speak it. Everything I gave, I have now taken back. I have revoked. I've heard this directly from the mouth of my Gurudev. So if we abuse or misuse what he is giving, if we twist, change, manipulate, trying to use it to collect money, kanaka kamani pratishtha, to engage others in our service, or turning it into something else, making it into sahajya or whatever, then immediately we can lose everything. So as disciples, it is imperative that we try to follow. So why am I speaking about this? The words of the pure devotee. My duty as I'm going to use this term, prospective disciple. Because Srila Gurudeva Maharaja explained what is disciple. Disciple means one who voluntarily places themselves in the position where severe discipline is inflicted upon them by Sri Guru. This is disciple. It's a very scary place to be. I'm praying that one day I can become a real disciple of my Gurudev. One day. So, the words of the pure devotee, because they are pure and they are connected to the pure source, those words are purifying. That's why it says chitte te koriya aikya. Not just my mind, my chitta. Chitta means consciousness. Deeper than the mind. The last thing to go is purified by that. So it is such an important seva. We should not think it is separate from all of the other activities that we're doing in bhakti. Serving the words of the pure devotee is non-different from serving Shastra. It's not different from serving Bhagavatam. What is Bhagavatam? Samadhi Bhasha. It is the words which have emanated from the transcendental realm, from Vyasadeva, through the medium of Samadhi, through the medium of trance, meditating on the pastimes of Krishna. It has manifested. This does not mean we should not also make time for Prabhu.
I think you should maybe tell them about one Vaisnava who was attached to chanting their lakh and what Gurudev wanted, and that Gurudev's Vani, you can hear me, I don't need to be seen, but Gurudev's Vani is so important. You know, there are only a handful of devotees who have been giving Gurudev's teachings as they are. I'm going to sit here. There are just a handful. Handful is good, it's my new word. Of devotees that actually are giving Gurudev's Vani. And so many times we find that it's twisted and it's changed and it's manipulated for whatever situation someone wants to make it. And all of these tapes and all of these beautiful darshans of Gurudev will be lost forever if we don't have this incredible audio seva. When we found out that the devotees were doing that, we felt so much peace in our hearts. Because now, if anyone will have any question, you will have such a resource of Gurudev to go to know and to understand. Oh, this is when he followed Ekadashi. Everywhere around the world, this is what Gurudev spoke on this day. Oh, on Srila Prabhupada, this is what Srila Gurudev said again and again and again. And you'll see that it's not just some transcription that somebody changed for time and place. As is said, you will find Gurudev there. Before Gurudev left this world, he said, I'm paraphrasing, he said something to the effect of, everything I need to say, I have said. I've said it. And so that's very important. Those words are important. Everything he wants us to know, he has recorded. But thousands of audios and darshans we are not able to hear or to see. So we don't actually hear what he has come to give. Not in its full context. So it's actually really important service to be doing. Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, he speaks about responsible seva. You know, to wash the floor or to, you know, chant your rounds, especially at our stage. Really, what is bhajan? We're maybe trying to do some sadhana. Me. But when we have the opportunity to do something that is a very responsible thing, taking the words of our Gurudev and giving them to the world, this is responsible seva. And it is something that is so precious, so necessary. And it is a very high-class seva. So Gurudev, sometimes when he was giving classes, he would see people chanting Harinam. And he would say, stop your chanting. Do you think your chanting is more important than hearing right now in this assembly? Is it? Is your chanting more beneficial than hearing me speak to you? Absolutely not. So although we should chant our specific numbers of Harinam that Gurudev has given us, and we should try to dive deep into that, our Gurudev said that the effect of that kind of chanting will give you more and more seva. So we have found that personalities like Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur became very attached to being able to do his Nam Bhajan. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur chastised him. Saraswati, don't do this. Don't be a miser. You have to go out and you have to preach and you have to give Mahaprabhu's mission to the world. And it was also the last request of Bhagavati Devi, his mother. Don't sit and do your own private thing. That is not a movement. That is my own work. But Mahaprabhu's movement means that it is active and it is engagement. And whether it is, yes, we have our internal time, but we also must do our external. I don't even want to say external. These are the words of our Gurudev, and they're precious and they're becoming lost. So this seva, right now, especially at this time, is so important. And it will give so much nourishment to the devotees that so many blessings will come to those who are doing this service. And by the blessings of the Vaishnavas, then easily we can be chanting and going deeper and deeper into Harinam. It is through the mercy of the Vaishnavas, the blessings, the prayers for you. So don't think that it is a lesser thing, actually. Our chanting at best, at most of the time, may be Nam Aparat. But doing that seva that Gurudev came to give us, I have come to tell you these things. Guru Krishna manifested to give us something. And it's all kept away and we don't have access to it. We have a little bit here and there. And then we have it from different groups who have maybe other motives or other intentions of why they're releasing certain lectures. But this audio seva is free from any of that. They're not part of any group. They only want to, actually they're disciples who started it of Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj. They're not part of any group like that. All they want to do is serve the Vani of our Gurudev and give that to the world because it is so important. So keep that in mind when you feel maybe some apathy toward that, thinking, oh, it's taking me away from the real thing. How much will you get when you start to read and hear? How much more inspiration in Harinam will you get when you're hearing and you're reading those lectures? It will increase your enthusiasm and your nishta in Gurudev and in Harinam and in Vaishnav Seva and in how to follow. It will teach you, my Guru Maharaj taught like this, or if it's my Param Gurudev, or if it's even someone that you just think, this Vaishnava has touched my heart so deeply, so I'm doing this Seva. But then we will understand his moods, his conceptions, and what he wanted to give us. So please don't be, I don't want to say lazy, but apprehensive, and think that it is not the inner heart's desire of Gurudev. Even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not actually write anything with his own hands. He spoke at different times, Sri Shikshashtakam, and the devotees wrote it down. And it is Srila Rupa Goswami who was the one that gave what it is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give the world. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. So it's saying here that he gave what Mahaprabhu wanted to give to the world. He established that. So we have a chance in whatever way, whether it's sitting here giving a lecture and trying to read Gurudev's books and share his message, or whether it's sitting behind a computer doing audio seva, we are doing that manobishta seva of Gurudev by giving his Vani to the world so it doesn't become lost. And it will increase your inspiration. Without doubt, it must. But like Prabhuji said, it is the way you approach it. You can even approach your mala like, oh, I gotta get my japa done. Or it's, oh, I get time. Now I can spend time with Harinam Prabhu. It's all something, a little flick of the switch in the mind and how we approach these sevas. And this seva, at least in my opinion, is one of the most important sevas to do at this very time. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Also, Sudevi reminded me just before she spoke that I remember we were on parikrama with our Gurudev, and there was kirtan going on. And some devotees were kind of off to the side, just chanting japa on their own. And our Gurudev became quite strong with them. If I see anyone chanting during the kirtan and not participating in the kirtan, I will take away your japa mala. We were like, what? He said, do you think your chanting, your own private, personal, off to the side chanting is more powerful than the kirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Do you know who is leading this parikrama? Panchatattva. All of our Guru Varga are present there. All of our Gurudevs, all Vaishnavas are present there. And they're doing kirtan together. And we think that our own personal chanting off to the side is going to be more beneficial. It's not that we should not make time for our chanting, but we should not take time away from the other important sevas as well. Because all of it is serving Krishna. And it could very well be that my chanting of Harinam is actually for my pleasure. It could be. I like that quiet time. I like that peaceful time. I like the way it feels. I like when no one is disturbing me. It's very easy. It's not difficult. Right? You just get to be relaxed in your own situation. It might just be, it could be, now I'm not saying it is, but it could become a desire to enjoy the mode of goodness. One Vaishnava, he told me that he used to be very attached to chanting. Minimum of 1 lakh of Harinam every day, 64 rounds. He was very attached. And it would take him some hours. As anyone knows, a lakh takes some hours. Well, these days people can chant a lakh, I heard, in half an hour. I don't know how they do it. They just kind of like hit the first letter of each word within the Mahamantra. Something like shnam, 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 like something like that. But Haridas Thakur was famous for chanting 3 lakhs of Harinam, which took him almost 24 hours a day. And 1 lakh should take somewhere between 6 and 8 hours. For me, it would take 11, 12, 13, because I would do other things and space out. But yes, it should take some time. So this Vaishnava was taking a lot of time chanting, but his service was also to translate the Jaiva Dharma from Hindi to English. So our Gurudev wanted to know his progress. Our Gurudev wasn't pleased with the progress of the translations. So then he sent someone, go see what he's doing. They went and saw, oh, he's chanting. So they reported back to Gurudev, he's chanting his japa. Gurudev sent a message. I want you to translate more and chant less. So he was eating less, sleeping less, translating more, chanting the same. Our Gurudev still wasn't satisfied. And he asked one devotee, well, go see what he's doing. He went and saw, he's chanting. Gurudev sent the message. Translate more, chant less. So this devotee cut more of his sleeping, more of his eating, more of any activity time, spent more time translating, and the same time, same amount, chanting. Again, our Gurudev wasn't satisfied. So, for the third time, he asked the devotee, go see what he's doing. This devotee told me personally when we were at Radhakund on Parikrama. So, the devotee went and found, oh, he's chanting. So he told Gurudev. Gurudev said, tell him to come here. So he came in front of Gurudev and Gurudev said to him, how would you like it if I built a nice bhajan kutir for you at Radhakund, and there you can chant 3 lakhs of Harinam every day? Would you like that? And this devotee said to me, luckily I responded with a question, because it sounded like a great idea. He said, luckily I responded with a question. What will be my benefit? And Gurudev just looked and said, 0. Why? Because he's not following the order of Guru. He's not pleasing Guru. Even Krishna himself says, Pratamam tu Gurum Pujam. First of all, you serve and worship Guru. Otherwise, Anyata Nishphala Bhavet. Everything else is just like fruitless. All of your activities and endeavors in bhakti without that first step. Ado Guru Padashray. So we should try to understand that service to Gurudev is essential for the quality of our devotion to awaken. What is chanting Hare Krishna? Our Gurudev said, I have never chanted anything. I serve Harinam Prabhu. We should not just chant. We should serve Krishna in the form of His holy name. But how to serve Krishna? You can only serve Him with bhakti. And where does bhakti come from? Bhakta sanjataya bhakta. From the devotee. Bhakti is the function of associating with the devotee. This increases one's devotion. As Srila Jiva Goswami says, whatever association one is in, we are like a clear crystal. And whatever association that we are in, we will become like that association. This means we will take on the mindset of whatever association. If we're in devoted association, we will become devoted. And if we're in non-devoted association, we will become like that. It's just natural. That example has nothing to do with the swarup of the jiva, by the way. It's just in terms of external association. We can't apply every example to everything at all times. It would be an inappropriate application. But yes, association. Our Gurudev said association is the most important thing. Association can either make or break someone. By association, one can become devotional. And by association, one can become demonic. Just as the son of Varahadev, Vishnu himself, and Mother Earth, by bad association became contaminated and became known as Narak Asur, or the demon from hell. By bad association, even though he is the son of Varahadev, Vishnu avatar. So by bad association, we can also become like that. And by good association, Brahmand Brahmite Kon Bhagya Manajeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. The jiva who is extremely fortunate, who has been wandering through so many millions of species of life, since time without beginning, through so many different worlds, universes, experiencing birth, disease, old age, death, so much suffering and flickering happiness. The three miseries, adhyatmic, adhibautik, adhidaivik miseries. That jiva who is extremely fortunate, kon bhagyavan, who is extremely fortunate, by the mercy of Krishna, receives in their life the mercy form of Krishna known as Guru Krishna. Guru Krishna prasade pai, and by the mercy of Guru Krishna, Bhakti Lata Bij. Bhakti Lata Bij literally means the seed of the creeper of devotion to Krishna. All of our Guru Varga have translated that to mean Sadhu Sangha. By the association of the devotees, the pure devotees of Krishna, what happens? What is the result? So this Bhakti Lata Bij, or the seed, is expressed as Krishna Seva Vasanam, the tendency or the desire to please, to serve Krishna by that association. How essential is that? So by serving Guru, by serving Vaishnavas, by receiving their mercy, we will develop Bhakti Sukriti, by which gradually we will awaken within our heart the devotion which is necessary for actually directly serving Krishna. Only by undivided devotional service can Krishna be known as he is, in truth. So by this seva, I will be able to increase in the quality of my service to Krishna at the time of serving Harinam Prabhu. So we should not see it as a separate thing, but see it as a mutually beneficial thing, in the same way that my Diksha mantras are necessary and absolutely beneficial, actually imperative, absolutely required, so that I can develop my relationship with Sri Harinam Prabhu. They are nourishing my attachment and my service to Krishna in the form of Harinam Prabhu. So these other sevas which are there, we should not lessen them. Srila Prabhupada engaged his disciples in distributing books, doing so much hard work, day and night, serving and serving and serving. And by this process, so much Bhakti Sukriti was manifesting, spiritual merit, Bhakti Sukriti. Means the Sukriti of awakening devotion, and simultaneously so many millions of anarthas, sins and aparads were being removed. And by this one can be able to take shelter of Harinam Prabhu purely. So we shouldn't see that they are mutually exclusive, but rather they are working together. For what purpose? To awaken our eternal identity in our eternal relationship with Krishna in loving service. So both are beneficial. It's not that we should neglect one and do the other, or neglect that one and do this one, but we should make time for all. When we went in front of our Gurudev, he had chosen a group of devotees to be members of what he called the advisory council for his Sangha, 100 devotees. And then they voted some into a position of, executive committee of that advisory council. And we were very hesitant because we had our service. We've been traveling around the world and meeting with so many different Vaishnavas and doing kirtan and programs like we're doing now, but in different devotees' homes and wherever. And we were thinking, it's taking too much time. It's taking so much time, all of the meetings and everything, that we won't be able to continue that seva. So the devotees brought us in front of Gurudev, and they said that they volunteered, and Sudevi said, we did not volunteer. We only want to do what's pleasing to you. And then we actually said we are concerned that so much time will be taken that we won't be able to continue our other seva. And the devotees there, they told Srila Gurudev that, no, just a couple hours a week, something like that. That's all that's necessary. And then he said, okay. Then he said, the result of seva is more and more seva. And that is also the result of responsible seva, which Sudevi was talking about previously. Responsible seva means if I take a position of responsibility and serve to the best of my ability to the point where I am dependable in my service to Gurudev, then Gurudev will see, this person is responsible. Let me give them more responsibility. It's natural. If someone is manifesting responsibility, they are manifesting reliability. Then you can trust, okay, then I will give you more and more and more. And ultimately, this seva will lead to the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the service of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, where they can fully trust you to always be ready and to serve and to understand the inner heart's desire of the object of your service. Without any hesitation and without any selfish, self-centered mood, complete dedication in service. So by this process, we will actually gradually awaken that through responsible seva. So responsible means I will do my audio seva and I will take time to cry out to Harinam Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We should not neglect one for the other. But we must understand that to serve and please Sri Gurudev, this will increase our capacity, our ability, our devotion, by which we will be able to serve Sri Harinam Prabhu. I'm just checking if there are any questions so far. Okay. So, I also wanted to mention one thing about, wow, we're almost finished. I don't even know if I should read today. Shyamananda Prabhu is famous for traveling on the order of Jiva Goswami along with two of his Shikshaka brothers, that is Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivas Acharya, carrying the books of the Goswamis from Vrindavan to Bengal, and where they were going they would be copied. So they were in essence a book sharing party, the first official book distribution party, traveling. And of course we know they went to the, the kingdom of Birhambir, and he heard that a great valuable treasure was coming to his kingdom. The astrologer said the most valuable treasure is coming. So he had some of his servants, he was a dacoit king, he had them in the night go and steal that treasure while everyone was sleeping. They brought it back to the king. He opened up the box, expecting jewels and gems and gold, and it was just a few old books, handwritten on palm leaves. And he was like, okay, whatever. He puts it to the side. But for Srinivas, Shyamananda, and Narottam, they were completely devastated. We have lost the books of the Goswamis. Our life is finished. What can we do? They were completely overcome. They were fainting, overcome with grief at having lost the seva that they were ordered to do. Gradually, it was Srinivas who stayed in that area. He sent Shyamananda to Orissa, and Narottam Das Thakur went north to Bangladesh and Manipur, north through that area. Narottam Das Thakur converted the entire Manipur. He converted the king to Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava, and all Manipur became Gaudiya Vaishnavas. He also went through Bangladesh, and so many became Vaishnavas. Now Bangladesh has become I think it's officially a Muslim country now, but before, so many of our acharyas came from Bangladesh. And then Shyamananda, he went southeast to Orissa. And there he also brought Krishna Bhakti there, Gaudiya Vaishnavism, in such a way. He was preaching everywhere, and thousands of devotees were coming. And so there's a certain kirtan style that came from Shyamananda Prabhu, a certain kirtan style that came from Narottam Das Thakur, and a certain kirtan style that came from Srinivas Acharya. So I want to read just a little bit. I'm just seeing there. Okay. So before entering into going beyond Vaikuntha, I've got 5 minutes. I will first pray to the lotus feet, dust of my Gurudev and of Sri Sanatan Goswamipada, by the words of Raghunath Das Goswami, Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatna, Apayanam mam anubhipshamandam kripam vidirya paradukuduki sanatanastam prabhum ashrayami. Begging for just a particle of mercy, that may even one drop of the moods that is present within these pages manifest within our hearts. So Gopkumar, he's on a journey. Srila Gurudev was telling what would happen if a cowherd boy, dressed as a cowherd boy, all dusty with a stick, wearing a little turban on his head, a little short tucked up dhoti, enters into Krishna's palace in Dwarka. He said Krishna in Dwarka is different than the Krishna in Braj. Different bhav, different mood. He'll be surrounded by all of his family members, all of the court personalities, and his queens and mother and everyone will be behind the curtain, just behind him in the court. He would glance at the cowherd boy just once and then not look back. And that cowherd boy would feel like, I want to embrace him, he's my friend, but that aspect of Krishna will not reciprocate. So Gurudev was explaining that Narad Muni could see the nature of the heart of Gopakumar. He could see everything. What is the intrinsic nature of his Atma? What will satisfy his soul in his eternal relationship with Krishna? He was not satisfied in Vaikuntha. That's a practical impossibility. But still, this is told to us for this reason, to help to confirm and give us the deep understanding that the soul already has present within it its own intrinsic, eternal, serving nature towards its particular Ishtadev. Whether that be Narayan and Vaikuntha, whether that be Ram in Ayodhya, or Dwarkadish in Dwarka, or Krishna in Vrindavan. And what kind of relationship with Krishna in Vrindavan? Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya. Whatever relationship that there is already fixed within the soul. Because the soul's nature is part of its eternal self. And Krishna says it cannot be mutated. So we don't add something to the soul. That's a mutation, right? Adding something to it. Or subtracting something from the soul. The soul is dynamic in its nature. So here it is showing that Gopakumar was in Vaikuntha, but the eternal nature of his soul was as a cowherd boy. So no matter how much association he had with the pure devotees of Narayan in Vaikuntha, that association could not change his swarup. And even direct association with the Lord himself, Srimad Narayan, could not change his swarup to make him a Vaikuntha Bhakta. He was feeling dissatisfied in his heart, so Narada Muni recognized it. Because of that dissatisfaction, his guru, Narada Muni, appeared in front of him and began telling him so many things secretly. Because all the rest of the Vaikuntha Vasis were like, what? Why are you talking about Krishna and Vrindavan? Yeah, okay. Some of them actually know. Sometimes Narayan takes this manifestation, but this is perfection. So they would kind of mock him. Why do you want to embrace him? As we are, this is perfect. Why do you have this weird mood? Your mood is rasabas. Really, this is what it was. The mood of Gopakumar was not compatible with the mood of Vaikuntha and the Vaikuntha Vasis. So they didn't appreciate his rasabas mood, and they would mock him for it. Your mood is not equivalent or compatible with the mood here. So what could he tell anyone of the mood of his heart? He couldn't. Narada Muni appeared and gave him instruction, gave him indication. This is your nature. This is what you want. And he's like, yes. You won't find it here. Srimad Narayan will not be able to reciprocate with your mood of love and affection. You want to embrace him, you want to jump on his bed, you want to hang out, you want to put food in his mouth and have him put food in your mouth with your left hand or dirty hands, it doesn't matter. You want to go cow grazing with him? He's not going to do it. You want to put a peacock feather in his head? Nope. He's the king of Vaikuntha, the emperor of the entire creation. It's not going to happen. So Narada Muni is first confirming with him, this is what you want. This is what is the intrinsic desire of your heart. You will not find it here. Let me give you direction. No, this is why Guru is so essential. Tadvidhi pranipatena. First thing, I'm lost. What should I do? Pranipat. Oh, my Guru has come. Submit. Help me. I trust you. Please help me. Then pariprashna. What should I do? Which way should I go? This is question. Relevant inquiry for my progression to the path of perfection. And then sevaya. Sevaya means to follow that instruction. Also to serve that personality, but to follow that instruction. Yes?
In light of these points, Jiva Pavana Prabhu is asking for the benefit of everyone. In light of these points, then what is the function of aspiration as opposed to destiny? Maybe for tomorrow.
I think I can address it quickly. Right now. Thank you for your question. What do we know what we should aspire for? And how do we know what we should aspire for? Yes. When we come to Sri Guru, we take shelter of Sri Guru, then we will know what to aspire for. Destiny is there, but destiny can take us a long, long time, as it did with Gopakumar. He just kind of floated along with his destiny. But when you come to the shelter of Guru, really taking shelter and direct guidance with the indication, then you can set your goal. When you set your goal, it's a different thing. You're not just floating. You can say it's destiny, but still, you are not just floating with your destiny. You are making a directed, focused endeavor. That is called lolyam. Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam. The intense, greedy desire will come when you have a set goal. And how do I know which goal to set? On my own, I don't know. I don't know what I am, who I am. I think I'm this body. I think I'm this mind and intelligence. I'm completely confused. I'm a mad person living in this material world thinking I am something that I'm not. What is the nature of my soul? I don't know, but the Tattvadarshi knows. Sri Guru knows. And he gives indication at the time of Harinam or Diksha. That this is our goal, this is our aspiration. Focus on your goal. What is our goal? Srila Gurudev would ask us. One devotee said to Gurudev, I don't know anything, I'm completely useless. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know anything, how can I preach? And Gurudev said, do you want to go to Vaikuntha? No. What do you want to do? I want to be a Palyadasi, maid servant to Srimati Radhika. He said, how can you say you don't know anything? You know everything. So, Guru gives this indication, especially if any disciple is very sincere. How to fix your goal. Fix your target, fix your goal, and then everything will automatically fall into place. Instead of like I was at university, I had no major. I went for 4 years, and I took every kind of class, trying to find out what I want to be when I graduate. So I was taking tennis class, piano class, singing class, racquetball class, pole vaulting. I don't know. Yeah, pole vaulting.
You're just wasting time. What are you doing sports?
No, I was doing everything, and science and English and math and Spanish and everything. And after 4 years, because I had no goal, I didn't graduate with a diploma.
But he met Gurudev.
But I met Gurudev. And he gave me a goal. He said, this is your goal. So that's the difference between my destiny, or even my own material-based aspiration versus what Guru detects of the nature of the Atma and how Guru directs us toward our particular goal.
Balabhadra says, Prabhu says something nice. He says, you are using purposeful activity to attain your goal, surpassing the rules of providence and destiny by the mercy of Sri Guru and Vaisnavas.
Very nice. Thank you, Balabhadra Prabhu. You said it so succinctly.
Yeah, I could have just written that and that's it.
So I actually didn't read anything today from here, but we discussed very beautiful, important subjects, and today is the disappearance day of Sri Shyamananda Prabhu.
Jai.
So Sri Shyamananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Gopkumar ki jai, Shri Sanatan Goswamipada ki jai, going beyond Vaikuntha ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Kishori ji, sing.
So thank you all very much for being with us today and for giving us the opportunity to continue our service to our Gurudev and Guru Varga. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandava Pranam, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Haribo.